5% or so. But let's now bring on board a couple of companies and talk about their corporate developments. As on board the management of Polaris, Arun Jain, CMD at Polaris Financial Technologies, joins us right now on the show from Chennai. Mr. Jain, hi, morning. After many months of restructuring and a considerable transition period, you've just completed the demerger of products and services business. By when do you think rather, will you be able to list the products business as an independent entity?
Yeah, just to reiterate to the investors, 18th of March we announced the demerger, and in last 6 months court on 15th September has approved the demerger, and on 10th of October we had formally Polaris stock being quoted as Intellect. So now on 15th of October there is a meeting of the board where one share will be granted to every shareholder of the Polaris. We received the data from the Carvi on 15th of October. Everybody will get one more share, and then we will be filing our information memorandum to NSE BSE before 24th of October. So which is within 30 days of the receiving the notice from the court. So I think we are on the track. So in next let's see, in next few weeks we can get a Intellect listed on the stock exchange. So that's what we are looking forward to.
Can you give us the revenue split across the 4 key divisions of your products business, and also break up the contribution coming in from key geographies, Mr. Jain?
Yeah, so we publishing the metrics that our Intellect is one of the few products out of India which has been accepted very well by Americas and Europe, and that requires a huge amount of marketing and selling. So 47% of revenue comes from Americas and Europe in an Intellect business. As of now we don't give a separation because a lot of business are interconnected and interdependent, so revenue streams on the 4 businesses we don't provide to the media because of dependency on each other. So the rest of the business, out of 53% business, is from Asia, India and other countries. So the 2 divisions are Americas and India and rest of the world.
You've been cautiously optimistic as well on your margins. The products business had EBITDA margins of 11.7% on the in the first quarter end, and services business enjoyed about 13.4%. What kind of improvement are you working towards now over, say, the next 4 to 6 quarters?
I would like to educate an investor that in software business of product to grow faster, I think operating margin of the product is important than the EBITDA margin, because R&D costs which are now becoming stabilized. So we are investing close to 100 crore per year on R&D, so which is getting stabilized. My delivery costs are getting stabilized. So those are the number one is to understand. And our operating margins are above 50%, 53, 54% over the last 8 quarters, and that's the strength of the business. We'll be continuously investing into sales and marketing because our product has been accepted very well in the marketplace, and now it's a time to take good customer relationship and good lock-in, because in product business the tail revenue is out of next 10 years relationship with the customer. And that's where I think the metrics which need to be measured in a product business for Indian investor, like any US investor does, is operating margin metrics, where like SFDC and other companies does a metrics of 65 to 70% is operating margins on their product line. So I think the EBITDA margin in product business may not be appropriate, because for next 6 to 8 quarters our sales and marketing, the more we invest the better we can grow these businesses. So that's a story on the Intellect side. Services side, again, since it is just demerge, it become vendor agnostic business. So I will be investing into the client relationships. So our investment will shift from the investment which was going into the product business to the client relationship business, because now first time our services business can go and build the payment systems vendor agnostic, not Intellect favored payment system, and that will drive in 6 to 8 quarters better margins. So that's what I would like to comment on.
So for the products business, Mr. Jain, tell us where your order book stands and how is the deal pipeline looking, and how is the demand environment shaping up?
Yeah, so let me say Intellect Design Arena has first product line is global transaction banking. in last 3 years, we are able to establish a clear leadership in global transaction banking. And this is across America and across Europe. Our product has been cutting-edge product, which we are winning against any global market. So our key competition in that space is FinTech, and we are in the finals for most of the deals in the Intellect global transaction banking, and that business has the highest investment because that's a fee-based income for the bank. So they are moving from NIM income to the fee-based income. So any bank who want to look at fee-based income to be increased is looking towards global transaction banking. So that's the driver for the growth of the first business. Second driver for the growth business is Intellect risk and treasury business. As you highlighted, the investment in Basel III are going up for next 3 to 5 years. The central banking are going up in next few years, and that is a business which is a second potentially high growth business. As you know, RBI has been implemented by Polaris. So that is a good story of taking to the world around Intellect risk and treasury management. Third space is insurance business, which is again, there's a lot of legacy sitting there. So that business is driven from Americas. So we are helping the clients to replace their legacy with a component-based architecture. And fourth business is global consumer banking, where we compete with Finacle or we compete with Temenos on global consumer banking, where our product digital banking is far superior, which has been launched recently in Asia Pacific. So there are the 4 lines of businesses, and the growth drivers are different. 2 businesses are legacy modernization, and 2 businesses are the way industry is moving towards.
Mr. Jain, can you tell us how many active clients do you have currently, and also what would be the number of the 3 to 5 or the 10 million relationships, and probably also throw in some color on the revenue contribution from the top 5 clients?
As of now, we are not preparing any such statistics, but I can tell you the total number of customers is close to 185 customers are there in all globally. So, so these are the asset size what we have in the company on which we are working on. The more than 10 relationships are close to over $5 million relationships, between $3 to $5 million relationships. So we have not actually measured it, so I'll get these numbers in order and share with you.
For the products business, you've been winning good deals with global private banks overseas, but industry experts point out that you've been lagging in domestic market and need to crack deals with PSU banks, which is a huge opportunity, can be a key long-term trigger as well. Is that good analysis? Is that a correct analysis?
Yeah, I think we were laggards in a PSU bank. We focused more outside India. So I think PSU bank, after RBI went live, so we have now started focusing on it. Govind Singhal, who was working with me, I think is focused only for Indian marketplace, going to PSU bank and conveying our story to them. So global transaction banking to me is a very strong value proposition for Indian PSUs to look at it, to fight the battle for multinational bank. So the technology which we have provided for global banks for handling and increasing the global transaction banking from corporate to the bank, I think that's a big opportunity for PSU to drive the corporate accounts. Otherwise, this corporate account could be under threat from PSU bank. So that's a big story, as you rightly said, but global transaction banking, like core banking was a wave in 2006, what we are saying is in wave of 2015, it should be global transaction banking core platform, which PSU bank must implement in India.
Mr. Jain, good to chat with you, and thanks much for taking time out and speaking with us today on ET Now. That's the view from the Polaris management. Take a look at what the banking pack is up to.